So welcome to the class of strategic management. We'll be continuing with the topics which we covered in the previous class. So this is just in line with the topics already covered. So today we'll be covering, we in the previous class we had seen what is an environment, how many kinds of environments are there, then what is environment scanning, and what are the things, considerations we need to take into environmental scanning. Now, moving on to the approaches to environmental scanning, first comes systematic approach, ad hoc approach, and third one is processed form approach. What is systematic approach? Under this approach, information for environmental scanning is collected systematically. That means any information related to markets, customers, government regulations, or other legislation and regulatory government policies. So these kind of information can be, continuously these should be monitored so that we can monitor these changes and we know what are the relevant facts to be taken into account, right? If continuously we are monitoring it, that is your systematic approach. So it is a ongoing process, it never stops. On the other hand, when we talk about ad hoc approach, under this approach, an organization conducts a special survey or study with regard to some specific environment issue. Okay, so ad hoc word itself means temporary. Temporary means when some issue comes up all of a sudden, only we are interested in studying that, scanning that particular issue, then we go for the ad hoc approach, right? So such studies may be conducted when organization has to undertake special projects, evaluate existing strategies or devise new strategies. So in that case, we go for ad hoc approach. And the third kind of approach for environmental scanning is processed form approach. Processed form approach means when the organization uses information in a processed form, which is already available from different sources. And these sources can be your inside the organization sources, or these can be your external sources, right? So when an organization's information supplied by government agencies or any other private institution for that matter, it uses secondary sources of data, and this information is available in processed form. Because we are getting this information from secondary data, so this information is always available in the processed form. It has already been used by someone, so that's why it is in secondary form. And generally what happens, this systematic approach and ad hoc approach, these are used for studying the immediate environment, immediate relevant environment. In the last class we had covered it. And when we talk about process form approach, this approach might be used for studying both kind of environments, be it general environment or your relevant environment, right? Okay. So now we have some of the sources of this information. From where do we get this information on environmental scanning? First is your documentary and secondary sources. Documentary and secondary sources means any different kinds of publications which are available in the market. Then we have mass media. This is your TV, radio, internet. These all compose of your mass media. Then internal sources. Internal sources are your company's files, documents, internal reports, prospectus, memorandum. External agencies can be, there are some, external agencies also you prepared for this purpose only. And other than that, your customers, your suppliers, your trade associates, your government, these also act as your external agencies for your data available, information available. Then formal studies. Formal studies means the surveys which are conducted by our government from time to time, or other marketing agencies or educational institutions which are conducting these surveys, and they're presenting these reports. So these kind of reports, these form a good base of your secondary kinds of sources. Then spying and surveillance. Spying and surveillance means, what do you mean by the word spying? You must be aware of it, right? Detecting, acting as a detective, किसी की जासूसी करना, when you want to know somebody's secrets. So this is generally adopted by the companies. What do? They, they go for, they plant, we call, there is a term given to it, mole. MOLE. So they plant mole in the rival companies. Although ethically it is not correct and it is not desired also, but still it is a fact of the society that it is happening in our industry. So what do? They take someone and they they plant that mole in the rival industry. Mole in the sense any person working for you, but right now at present that person is acting as a employee of that organization. Its role is only to get the information which you require for your objective or to fulfill your purposes, right? Okay, then after that we have factors. Which factors affect the environmental appraisal? These are again classified into three heads. First one is strategist related factors. Second one, organization related factors. And the third one, environment related factors. What are strategist related factors? See, strategists, they play a very crucial role while formulating a strategy, because it is in the hand of the strategist, how do they perceive the things and then how do they, formulate it. So strategist age, strategies, cognitive abilities, strategist knowledge, strategies point of view, opinion. So all these things, it matter, and the ability of the strategist to understand the things which are happening around him and the way he takes up the changes which are happening in the environment. So these strategist related factors, it affects the environmental appraisal. Then comes organization related factors. Just like strategist related factors, organization related factors are also equally important, because see, every organization is different. Organization means the size of the organization, the nature of business organization is carrying, all other activities which organization is carrying, what is the composition, what services and products that organization will be providing, right? So, and what are the policies of the organization? So these factors also affect while doing the environmental appraisal. And the third one is environment related factors. And of course, we are doing environmental appraisal. So environment related factors do play a vital role, in the sense, what kind of environment in which your organization is present, whether it is a stable environment or it is a turbulent environment. There is a, if it is very complex and it is very volatile, then it becomes little more, you need to pay more attention then to deal with that kind of appraisal. After that, let's see, this is how do we take the, how do we make a matrix to see the priority environmental issues. So one side we take the impact, left side we have taken the probability of impact, and on the top we have taken impact on business. High, there are three possibilities: high, medium, low, and on the left side also we have high, medium and low, right? So when we see that probability of happening some change is very high and the impact on the business will also be very high, then it is critical. After that, just a sec, give me some time. Sorry, I got sore throat. So if the impact is also high and the probability of impact is also high, then that kind of issue, it becomes critical issue. It has to be taken care immediately. Next, we see if impact on the business is high and impact probability of impact is medium. Okay, so then it becomes high priority. Till it is in the range of medium, it will be considered high priority. Anything other than that will be considered low priority. So this is how we define the issues, and then we start working on this. Suppose if the impact on that will be very high, but the probability of it occurring or that changes that changes which we are expecting in that particular environmental issue, it is low. That it very rare chances are there that such a thing will happen, right? So in that case, it will be considered under to be watched. To be watched in the sense you have to just be attentive towards it. That in case if it happens, so you should be prepared. Pro planning should be there. Then there are tool which we use for environmental appraisal. This is ETOP. ETOP means the environmental threat and opportunity profile. When you had studied SWOT, you must have done ETOP also in your first semester. It was developed by GLUEC. It says it is a technique to structure the environment for fundamental business analysis. So it is basically the process by which organization monitors the relevant information to identify the opportunities and threats affecting the business for the purpose of strategic decisions. So what do we do in this? We talk about the relevant information related to the opportunities and threats which will affect our strategy making, our strategy decisions, and ultimately our business. So we are interested only for that. So this is a tool used for environment analysis and determining the significance of threats and opportunities require a systematic evaluation of the information developed in the course of environmental analysis. See, systematic approach is always more desired. It is always considered the best because it keeps a continuous monitoring of the environment. What are the things are happening? There is a continuous monitoring under systematic approach. Then what is the process of preparing ETOP? First, divide the whole environment into different sectors such as economic, market, social, legal, technical, etc. We know all kinds of environments. Then analyzing the impact of each sector on the organization, how much economic sector will be impacting, how much market sector will be impacting, how social factor. Then further subdividing each environmental sector into sub-factors. Like in economic sector, if we are talking about how the national income will be impacting, how the inflation will be impacting, how the GDP will be impacting, how these changes which are happening economically, how then each sector into that sub-factor into that sector will be taken care of, and then finally the impact of each sub-factor on organization in the form of statement. That if inflation is increasing, so and so condition will be there. If per capita income is decreasing, this will be the impact on our business. If our national income is going down, then this will be the status, this will be the impact on our organization. So while performing ETOP, these are few considerations which we need to take care. First is issue selection. Issue selection is same, that some of the important issues may be market share, and for others it might be competitive pricing, technological changes. That what is that major issue, that critical issue which will be impacting the maximum your business. So first that issue has to be selected, that issue has to be figured out, identified very correctly, that we have got the right issue. It should not be such that major issue was something else, and we suppose it was the competitive pricing, and we are concentrating on only on technological aspect. So everything will get diverted there, and still we won't bear any fruits, right? So second one is accuracy of data. Accuracy of data means whatever the information you are gathering, whatever the information you are getting, so it should be accurate enough. If the information was not correct, was not accurate, then all your results, all your interpretations, all your analysis will be, everything will go in vain. You're not gonna get anything out of it, because the interpretation, results, whatever you will be giving, that outcome will be your not correct outcome. You cannot reach to a good outcome then. Next is impact studies. Impact studies, same. how much impact that issue is having and to what extent, right? So that matrix which we just saw now, with that we can make out that this has probability of happening, this is this much, and this kind of impact it will be having on the business. Then flexibility in operations. Flexibility in operations means any environment, any issue which you are studying, your environment is dynamic, so should be your operations and your strategies, in the sense that anything whatever is happening in your organization, whether you see it from operation level or you see it from strategic level, it should be dynamic, it should be flexible enough so that it is ready to change as per the changes happening in the environment, right? So it should be able to cope up with the dynamic environment, and that it will be able to do only if it is not rigid. If you have a rigid strategy policy or rigid operations activities, then you cannot make the changes according to the environment. Let's see, this is the kind of matrix which we prepare for ETOP. We take on in one column environmental sectors, next nature of impact, and the third one is impact of each sector, right? I have taken an example of a motorbike company here. I think it will make you more clear. See, these are the environmental sectors we have on the left side, and on the right side we have the impact of each sector. Socially, customers' preference for motorbike which are fashionable, easy to ride and durable. So that means people are preferring, their style is changing, their taste is changing, they are preferring easy to ride, durable, fashionable cycle. So this is a kind of positive change, or it will lead to a upward change. Your socially, it has a positive impact on your motorbike company. Then politically there is no significant factor. Then we have economic. In economic, growing affluence among urban consumers, people are, their per capita income is increasing, they have good, the potential is high, and export potential is also high, then it will be considered as a positive impact. Regulatory, two-wheeler industry is a thrust area for exports. So government is planning to open the two-wheeler industry for exports. That means lots of export will be happening. So regulatory, if you see it, then it has a positive impact. Then we have market. Market industry growth rate is 10 to 12% per year. For motorbike, growth rate is 40%, largely unsaturated demand. Unsaturated means, saturated demand means mature demand. When demand for any product has reached to the threshold level, after that it cannot be increased any further. That is your saturated demand. Unsaturated demand means still there is a scope, there is lots of demand which is unmet. That when unmet demand is there, so there is a need for more production and more companies can come in. So market point of view, if you see, it is very positive. And I think I didn't take, if you want to take an example of negative impact, suppose some international environmental sector, international factor, that has a negative in the sense, because there is a threat from the Chinese products or Chinese companies. They are providing you the motorbikes at a lower price as compared to the domestic prices. So that can be your negative impact if you talk about it. So I hope this is clear. So that's all for today. If you have any queries, you are free to ask. You can put up your doubts from today's class.